After Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine, audiences next found Price on the small screen in one of his most endearing roles in the TV series Batman.
This is an acid egg, Batman. One move and I'll drop it on Robin's head. Nobody could be that rotten.
On October 19, 1966, Price made his first appearance as arch-villain Egghead, a bald-headed baddie with a penchant for bad puns and rotten eggs. This was the first of a two-part episode, the second half airing the following evening. Price would appear 7 times in total as Egghead from 1966 to 1967, truly embracing the campy fun of the show.
My criminal career is now extinct.
Vincent's next big screen appearance was the 1966 film Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs. In this follow-up to the first Goldfoot film, Price reprises his role as the nefarious Dr. Goldfoot. However, this time around, his assistant Igor is nowhere to be found. In his place, Goldfoot has a female assistant named Hardjob. Goldfoot once again is up to no good and has rebuilt his girl-making machine. However, his girls this time out are much more deadly as he has upgraded the machine to create actual girl bombs that explode with a single kiss. 7 NATO generals are gathering in Rome for a series of war games. Goldfoot has sent his girl bombs to seduce and take the generals out with a bang. His ultimate scheme is to trick the US and Russia into World War III by dropping a nuke on Moscow.
They do look real, don't they?
A former Secret Intelligence Command agent, that's SIC for short, named Bill Dexter, played by Fabian, has caught wind of Goldfoot's scheme. Along the way, he falls for a secretary named Rosanna, played by Laura Antonelli, who is kidnapped by Goldfoot. Together with a pair of bumbling SIC agents, played by Italian comedy duo Franco and Ciccio, he sets out to free Rosanna and save the day. It all culminates with a chase scene, much like the first film, except this time the good guys are pursuing Goldfoot and Company, on foot, through an amusement park where they ride a variety of attractions, and even on a hot air balloon that inexplicably catches up with Goldfoot's jet airplane. Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs was made by American International Pictures and directed by Mario Bava. As a cost-cutting measure, it was filmed in Italy to take advantage of government subsidies. Frankie Avalon was originally scheduled to reprise his role from the first film, which ended with him trapped on a plane by Dr. Goldfoot and Igor. But he was unable to make the film, and Fabian was selected as his replacement. Franco and Ciccio, the bumbling SIC agents, were huge stars in Italy at this time. There is an entirely different cut of this film, made for Italian audiences, called The Spies Who Came In From the Cool, which features Franco and Ciccio much more prominently. It was wildly successful in Italy and was, in fact, one of Bava's highest grossing pictures. The American version, however, was a flop, and understandably so. It is painful to watch, with a plot that's nearly incomprehensible and silly shenanigans that are far inferior to the first Goldfoot film. You know, looking at this movie 50 years later through American eyes, it just doesn't hold up. Where Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine became a cult favorite, the sequel is better left forgotten. The Italian comedy duo of Franco and Ciccio in particular are just not funny, and something's lost in translation. About this movie, Price said, "It was one of the most dreadful movies I've ever been in. Just about everything that could go wrong did. At one point, they even lost the soundtrack to the whole movie. They literally lost it." He is referring to the fact that they lost the guide track and had to hire someone who could read lips to help reconstruct the soundtrack, which is true. The entire thing is dubbed. Overall, Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs is a true bomb. Even the theme song, which was sung in this one by the Sloopies, is inferior to the Supremes theme song from the first movie. Take my advice, just skip this movie and rewatch Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine. It's a much better picture. Next up, Price would appear in the 1967 crime picture, House of a Thousand Dolls.
I guess I laid an egg.
I used to be frightened by all the wine coolers I saw. I was scared I wouldn't pick the right one. Luckily, I did. It was the most refreshing one of them all. Sun Country wine cooler. You see, Sun Country is a blend of premium white wine and real fruit juice. That's what gives it its great taste. Sun Country, say, give me the real juice cooler. If you don't say Sun Country, you'd better sleep with your lights on.